Okay, bang the gavel 3 times, real loud. Good evening, everyone. This meeting is being held in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, and adequate notice of this meeting has been provided as required by law. Specifically, the revised annual notice was emailed to the West Essex Tribune and Star Ledger on February 28, 2023. The agenda and resolutions for the meeting are available on www.livingstonnj.org. Certain portions of this meeting may be closed to the public for the purposes of personnel and/or other matters as outlined in the Sunshine Law. Decisions made and/or discussed in closed session will be made known to the public at a later time. Notice to the members of the governing body and township staff: any use of electronic devices during a meeting shall be used solely for the purposes of township business, and any communication are subject to the Open Public Records Act. To the extent possible, this evening's Township of Livingston meeting will be live streamed via Facebook at www.facebook.com/Livingston Township NJ. Questions and/or comments will also be accepted by emailing livcomments@livingstonNJ.org by 4 p.m. on the day of the meeting. Each speaker should follow the rules in order of Livingston's Code 2-15. So before we do the roll call, I would like to introduce Angela Vega. Angela here to my right, to your left, she's going into 5th grade at Harrison School. Angela was talking to my wife at a Kiwanis barbecue that we had a couple of weeks ago, and she was wondering what the mayor does and what the council does and what the town does. And I started talking to her, but I thought it would be really nice if she would come and be part of the meeting and shadow me for a couple hours to see what we actually do at the town council meeting. So it's really nice. I think Angela had a good time, learned a little bit of what everybody does, from the attorney to the clerk to the council members to our town manager. So I think it was a great experience that Angela had today. So welcome, Angela. So at this time, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilmember Meinhardt?
Yes.
Councilmember Klein is absent. Councilmember Begoli? Deputy Mayor Anthony?
Here.
Mayor Vieira?
Present. So please join me in a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Angela will be leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance. But as each of us reflect our moment of silence, let's continue to remember all those in our community who are facing difficult challenges.
I pledge allegiance
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I do see Eileen Fishman in the audience. Hi, Eileen. How are you? Adam, would you grab the microphone? Oh, let's see who runs faster, Adam or Andy. Hi, Eileen. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Good.
Good evening. I know. Thank you, Joanne. Good? Thank you. Good evening. Eileen Fishman, Essex County Liaison to Livingston, on behalf of Joe DiVincenzo, Essex County Executive. We have lots going on in the summers. We have lots going on always in Essex County, but summertime is especially fun. We have 2 concerts in this area, one on Tuesday, July 25th at Cedar Grove Park, and one on July 26th at Grover Cleveland Park in Caldwell. We have the Butterfly Tent Safari, which is always a lot of fun, Saturday, July 15th to Saturday, July 23rd. At the Environmental Center, Garibaldi Hall. And we have Night Moves, which is a unique look at Essex County Turtleback Zoo and its nocturnal animal collection. It's guided, and it's July 15th and 27th. In the month of July, we have Zoovies, which are movies every Wednesday night, and the next one is this Wednesday night, Madagascar, at the zoo. And let's see what else we have. Lots of things. We have an evening canoe paddle on the Passaic, July 20th, and then August 3rd. And we have the Very Hungry Monarch Caterpillar on Saturday, July 15th from 10:30 to 11:30, ages 3 to 5. So lots of good stuff going on, and you may have heard today the governor signed a bill that's saving people plenty of money on their chronic meds for diabetes, asthma, and the third I can't remember. Epinephrine pens, EpiPens. So that'll go into effect January of 2025. So that's really helpful for everybody.
Thank you. And
That's it.
Eileen, would you please extend our thank you to the county executive? We had a very dangerous traffic light over on East and West McClellan and North Livingston Avenue, and over the last 4 years, there was over 40 accidents. This year alone,
Wow.
there was 7 accidents. So Sanjeev Vargas, the Public Works Director, Captain John Drum, and I met last Thursday. By last Friday, they had already started working on it. And now it's already set with the new traffic pattern over there. So that was very fast. We were thinking that it was probably going to take about 2 weeks, but it was less than 24 hours after we met with Sanjeev that it was taken care of. So we just want to thank him and the
That's
county
great.
executive.
I'll let him know.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a good night.
So tonight, I'm honored to be presenting a proclamation to Judith Friedman. Judith was the longtime president and co-president of the Livingston League of Women Voters, and we know that the league is in good hands with Robin Weiss and as co-president, and we do wish Amy Ip success as the new co-president. And we have a proclamation for Judith tonight. I believe, Deputy Mayor, you're... Yep, yeah, all of us are going to participate in reading this proclamation.
All right. Hi, Judith. So this proclamation starts off, whereas Judith Friedman has been a resident of the Township of Livingston since 1969 and an active League of Women Voters member for over 50 years and president of the League for 20 years. And whereas in that capacity, Judith organized candidates' nights, coordinated voter registration drives, worked with Girl Scouts, held public forums, and represented the League at countless events. And whereas Judith's efforts in providing candidates' nights have been invaluable to the Township of Livingston community, providing an informative forum for both Township and Board of Ed elections. And
whereas she was born in Worcester, Massachusetts, and a graduate of Brandeis University and Harvard University, always passionate about the public school system. She taught English for many years at Essex County Vocational Technical Schools. And whereas Judith was married to her beloved Merton Friedman for nearly 60 years, who passed in 2013, and remains very close to her son Eric. And whereas Judith is a woman of many interests and has been active in the Livingston Arts Council, the Friends of the Livingston Public Library, and also enjoys current events, art, music, traveling, and the theater.
And whereas Judith's willingness to speak up and demonstrate concern for others, coupled with her integrity, honesty, and intelligence, have been beyond inspirational to many. Whereas the mayor and council congratulate Judith on her retirement from the position of president of the League of Women Voters after 20 years of service, and join the community of the Township of Livingston to thank her for her dedication to the township for so many years.
Now, therefore, be it resolved, I, Michael M. Vieira, the mayor of the Township of Livingston, County of Essex, State of New Jersey, and the Township Council, do hereby proclaim July 10th, 2023 as Judith Friedman Day in the Township of Livingston. Congratulations, Judith. Why don't we all go down?
I want to thank you so much. This is really so sweet of you, and I've really enjoyed all my activities with the League of Women Voters. I really am delighted, and thank God that I live in Livingston. I feel that the town is very well run. It's very supportive of the schools. This recent issue where other towns are banning books, Livingston has stood by the library and the schools. It's also supporting abortion. So I really thank God that I'm living in Livingston, which is has become a very interesting, diverse town. I also thank God that I'm living in New Jersey. That's it.
Congratulations again. Thank you. Here you go. Congratulations again, Judith. So now, earlier this year, a committee was formed to look at the Livingston pools and to come back to the town council with recommendations and suggestions. Tonight, I and the entire town council is looking forward to hearing from the committee chairs. But before I do want to thank the members of that committee for all their time and dedication, and I want to thank our Livingston residents who participated in surveys, meetings, and town forums. So I'm very excited to hear what the town pool committee has to say to us, because this is just the beginning of our work. So I guess, is it Ron that's doing the presentation? Thanks, Ron. So I don't know whether you want to do it at the podium over there? Yes. Okay.
I want to say it again. First of all, you're absolutely right, Mayor. You came to us, the 2020 Vision Committee, and said you wanted us to look into the pool situation. And I'm going to show you what we came up with, basically. So let's start without further ado with the first slide, how come it's not going here? The first slide doesn't want to go. Wait, there we go. There we go. First of all, we want to start with acknowledgments. The mayor and the rest of the town council, they wanted us involved with the township residents, and we did. We asked the town to get involved. We want to also thank the township staff, all the people's names that you see up there, the township, the committee members, which I want you to stand up, please. Everyone that was on the pool committee, please stand up. These people came to all our meetings. They're part of the forum. They did a really good job. Thank you. They had insight for ideas, teamwork, passion, interest in the future pool complex. Most importantly, a collective sense of humor was enjoyed by all during our meetings. And the town residents who eagerly participated in the pool forums and responded to the pool survey with constructive input. Special thanks go to the Girl Scouts, who cheerfully reminded everyone why we're having a community pool is necessary. Now, this is the research process between March and June of 2023. First of all, there was a press release inviting residents to join the 2020 Vision Pool Committee. Number two, Ed Reinhardt and Rosie are the town council liaisons to the pool committee. We conducted a one-month townwide survey asking residents what they wanted in a pool complex. We had to compile those pool survey results reflecting residents' preferences for pool complex amenities and features. We held 3 public town pool forums. 2 were in person, 1 was a Zoom only. The pool committee discusses and summarizes the main takeaways from the survey results, the town pool forums, and a visit by 10 nearby town pools, which was pretty amazing to see what they've done there. The pool committee research report is submitted to the town council and the town manager. As a matter of fact, we just updated that a few days ago. You have the updated 30-page report. Now, this is what the findings of the surveys and the forums came up with. There was over 1,400 responses, and there were some doozies, but we're just going over the ones that really made a lot of sense and were on top of everyone's mind. Clean, safe, and maintain the facility. Main pool, a lap pool, a splash pad, and a slide. A mixture of sun and shade. We had a lot of conversation about that. Greenery, a pool and a park feeling, comfortable seating, a snack bar with a variety of offerings, special events, handicap accessibility, affordable membership, and on-site parking. Here are the 4 pool location options. Existing Haynes Pool location, new pool for Haynes Complex, adjacent to the existing location, existing Northland Pool location, or the Livingston Mall where there's a teardrop location. Here are the 5 recommendations. Number 1, these are all, the first 2 are studies. An in-depth study of architectural and engineering requirements of Northland Pool's complex footprint should be considered at this time. An in-depth study of architectural and engineering requirements of moving Haynes Memorial Pool Complex to the north and east of the existing footprint. And number 3, identifying capital improvements and estimate associated costs necessary to keep Haynes Memorial functional and safe for the foreseeable future while a new pool complex is built or Haynes is enhanced. Number 4, update the capital cost projections for a new pool complex adjacent to the new existing Haynes Memorial site. Update the capital cost projections for Northland Pool Complex under 2 scenarios. A similar Haynes-type pool complex with lap pool is accommodated at the Northland Pool Complex site. B, Northland becomes a new multifunctional recreational and pool complex. And number 5, this goes to you, communicate a project timeline to the Livingston Township residents what the next steps the town council and the town manager are taking to move forward the decision on the future pool complex. So having said that, we put together for the last few months, I think, an exhausting amount of time visiting pools, putting forums together, researching, looking at all the last 12 years, we had different surveys that were taken, different ideas, different scenarios, and we came up with these suggestions. So now the onus is really basically on you to look at all the suggestions that we have and come back to us if you think further investigation is needed, or do you think all the information that we came up with is suffice, and then you would make a decision. I'll let you know that I'm going to ask you, Mayor, in a couple of months or maybe even less where we are and making some sort of a headway and making a decision. So basically that's it, unless you have any questions. Oh.
So I appreciate that Councilwoman Begoli and Councilman Ed Meinhardt were also the liaisons. Do you have anything to add?
So I'll just speak. I was going to say Councilman Begoli and I were fortunate enough to be on this committee. I think, first of all, I want to say thank you and compliment Ron and to Alan and to Steve and to your committee for the amount of hard work that you did. This was not an easy task at all. This was one of the best committees I've sat on in a while. You got a lot done in a short amount of time. You only started this in January, February, and here you are at the beginning of July with a really very detailed report. So your committee did a lot of work. I thought the 2 sessions that we had over at the community center were very informative. It was very interesting to hear the comments. Your report is well written, and I just wanted to say thank you for everything. I think that we have a lot to talk about among ourselves.
Okay.
And I think we will get back to you. Hopefully, we'll get back to you in a reasonable amount of time. But certainly, a huge amount of gratitude to all of you and your committee for everything that you've done.
Great. Well, thank you. Anybody else? Rosie?
It was my first time participating in such a committee, obviously, and I just want to thank the entire committee. I mean, I sat down one day as you were putting survey questions together. We attended the forum. I also want to thank you, for opening it up to residents that could not be there present. You did this in many different ways so that you can give the entire community a voice. We certainly appreciate that. Obviously, we have a lot to discuss, but we are extremely grateful for your participation, your dedication, and the entire committee's diligence in how you took this on. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, we had the Zoom meeting, which was great, and the mayor suggested we have the Girl Scouts, which was cute and fun and very exciting. It was very good.
The funny thing is, when I visited the Girl Scouts, because they wanted me to come over and give a talk, well, the first 2 questions were, first question was, how old are you? The second question is, what's going on with the pool? So,
Right.
and I did promise them that, there was a pool committee formed, and I promised them that I would send people over from the pool committee to listen to them. And I thank you for doing that, because that's exactly what you did. So we got everyone from all ages. I think those girls were probably 4th graders. So, we really did include everybody in the community, all ages. But I want to thank the entire pool committee. Steve Kroll was also key
very
in
instrumental.
writing it. And I read his report several times just because it's a lot of reading. And then just the other day, I got a new report. So,
Exactly. Yeah.
so I think I'm through my first reading of this new report, but there's a lot of attachments. I know that you guys did a lot of visiting of other community pools
Yes.
around Essex County. I'm not sure if you went out of Essex County, but I know that you did a lot of traveling and talking to other pool complexes. And you guys really did an yeoman's job. And as Councilman Ed Meinhardt said, is that now it's in our hands, and now the community is expecting us to pick up the ball and look at your recommendations and start working
Good,
on something.
good.
Because listen, I can only speak for myself. I think we do need a improved pool system complex in Livingston. We see what we have now, and it's nobody's fault that they were built in the 1960s, 50s, and 60s.
50s.
Okay, 50s. Okay, that gets old. So cement gets sandy, it starts cracking. So we have to think about it. So again, I want to thank you and the entire committee. Deputy Mayor, do you have anything to add?
I think it's all been said. Thank you so much. And
You're welcome.
when you started this, I think I said, wow, that's a blue ribbon committee, and a bunch of great people on there. And I think I said, that's how Livingston usually gets things done. We have a great amount and quality of volunteers in this town, and I knew you guys would study it well and give us 5 recommendations up there to chew on. So thank you so much to everyone who put in their time and effort for this.
I do want to say one thing, though. If you've been to the pool recently, there's been a lot of changes there also right now. So we've
It actually looks
upgraded
good.
the pool right now. It looks great.
It looks great.
Shiny, a lot of flowers there, a lot of
We were
paint.
there on the 4th of
A lot of
July.
new floors, new windows. It's really been updated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Senior Youth and Leisure Services, and Barry, they did a marvelous job getting it ready for this summer. And I know the one complaint over at Haynes is that there's not a lot of shade. And this year they added some tents over there, and they
the
made it
pavilion.
shady.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
changed nice new blue umbrellas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another
Yeah.
umbrella.
Looking
Yep.
good.
So if you haven't been over there this year, get over there because there are some changes. But Barry, the only thing that I want to add is I don't want this to die, this report to die. I want to continue this conversation as soon as possible. I think we need to get Ann involved. I think we need to get Jen Walker and Ron Rabella from Senior Youth and Leisure Services. I think we need to talk about maybe some sort of architect just coming up and drawing a picture of what a complex could look like, or improvements or expansions over at Haynes, or what we can do at Northland. But I don't want this to just go dead. I want to continue this conversation immediately.
No, agreed, Mayor. One quick question that just came to mind. Did the committee review some of the prior work from
Yes.
land engineering?
Yes. It's
And
in the
I-
report.
and I don't know whether it's appropriate to do it on TV, but I'm going to ask anyway. Did the committee have any sense about land in terms of whether land would be a viable option for these additional?
I mean, for another
or
report,
switching?
another
Yeah,
survey?
Or switching to another firm, or? Okay. I mean, that was largely before I got here, so I didn't.
Alan,
deal
nobody
with
can
it
hear
much.
you if you speak, so you're going to have to speak into the microphone.
So land's still an option, okay. Yeah, because their work was largely before I got here.
Yes,
I just didn't-
yes.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks again.
Thank you very much. And again, for the entire committee, thank you very much. So we're moving on to the agenda items, approval of minutes pending any corrections. We have the regular and conference meeting minutes of June 26, 2023, and we have the closed session minutes of June 26, 2023. May I have a motion to approve the meeting minutes pending corrections? May I have a second? All in favor? Opposed? Thank you. So at this time, we're up to public comments on agenda items only.
Motion to open.
Hold on a second. Before I open the public comments, Mr. Lewis or Mr. Cantor, do we have any items for closed session tonight? And-
Mayor, we have listed fair share housing litigation, but I'm going to have that pulled off the closed session as Councilman Klein isn't in attendance tonight, and I can provide, there's not much of an update to provide tonight, so I don't have any items for
You
closed
don't,
session
and
tonight.
Barry, you don't either. Okay, so we will not be going, and nobody else has any closed sessions? So we will not be going into closed session tonight. Thank you. So now I have a motion to open the public portion on any agenda items.
Ed?
I'll remake the motion to open.
And
May I
I'll
have
second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So at this time, the meeting is now open for agenda items only. There's a 4-minute time limit per person. Anybody wants to come up to the microphone and speak, please give your name and address for the record. Hi, Justin.
Hi, Mr. Mayor. Justin Albert, 56 Amherst Place. Look, I know you just canceled 23182, but what property was going to be discussed there, please?
That was going to be a continuing discussion of the Livingston Mall, the Westminster Hotel, and 70 South Orange Avenue.
All right, so, Mr. Mayor, how long have we been being sued by the Livingston Mall?
Jared?
So, we're not being sued by Livingston Mall. There's an application currently pending by Fair Share Housing that were to force us to zone the Livingston Mall.
But why is it enclosed? Why are we not having a public conversation about that?
Because there's currently a motion pending before the Superior Court of New Jersey, and we're trying to resolve that issue. So
Whose motion?
Fair Share Housing's.
All right, so if they were not appearing in front of the court, we would be doing a very public conversation about what we're doing at the mall?
We wouldn't have to be discussing it if there wasn't litigation.
So this seems like a great block on the part of the developers from taking conversation out of the public domain just by putting a motion in front of the Supreme Court?
Superior Court.
Superior Court?
Yeah.
Perhaps we should do something about that. Two, kudos to the pool committee. They did a tremendous job. The investments in swimming pools creates real value in a healthy, growing community. So these kinds of investments are the kinds of investments that we should be doing, and there's a way to recover it. But that's what causes the appreciated value of real property in a healthy, growing community. Our plan should involve the YMCA property. An indoor pool would be invaluable to this community. Quite honestly, we should take that whole YMCA facility and just roll it into our Parks and Recreation Department. But if we're going to be talking about pools, we also should be talking about that indoor pool. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Justin. Is there anyone else who would like to, on agenda items only? Commissioner Siebold?
I'm assuming that the proclamation for Judith Friedman is on the agenda. Am I correct?
Yes,
Correct.
Commissioner.
Yes.
Okay, if so, then I would like to congratulate the town council for recognizing her here tonight, because the League of Women Voters had their annual meeting, and I presented her with a proclamation from the Essex County Board of Commissioners. Now, Judith Friedman was the president of the league for 20 years. I don't think there's ever been any other individual who was president for 20 years. Am I correct, Judith? I don't know. When I first moved to Livingston,
I joined the League of Women Voters, and Doris Beck was the president, and you know the gazebo was named after her. But she didn't have 20 years, and I have to congratulate Judith for putting in so much of her time and doing so much for this community and registering so many people all the time, because that has been a true asset to our democracy. So thank you, Judith, for everything you have done.
Is there anyone else that has comments, public comments on agenda items only?
Mayor, can I just follow up Commissioner Siebold's comments for 1 minute? Do you mind on about Judith?
Absolutely.
So, no, I want to follow up on Judith based on what you said. The one thing that all of us sitting on this dais have received at one time or another was a typed letter from Judith inviting us to participate in the League of Women Voters debate, right? Some of us have gotten two Councilwoman women, you have one. I think other ones have gotten a couple other. We've gotten 2 or 3 each. And you always knew that it was election season when that typed letter came from Judith. Not an email, not a phone call, but a typed letter. That doesn't happen very often. So I think all of us have been through these debates. Judith, we wish you, I certainly, and I speak, we all wish you well. We will miss those letters, and you had a personal touch when it came to those letters. So thank you very much.
Good.
Thank you, Mayor.
Is there anyone else on agenda items? If you want to talk about the cannabis, that'll be on later. It's not on this agenda, so you'll have to wait for the other section of public comments. Yes. Yeah, but this is this is the regular meeting, so this is what the agenda items on this meeting. So just to give us a couple minutes and we'll get to the other portion of the public comments. Is there any other public comments on agenda items only? Madam Clerk, is there any written public comments that you've received in your office?
Not tonight, Mayor, thank you.
Okay, hearing no more public comments, may I have a motion to close the public portion on agenda items only?
Motion to close.
May I have there's a first and a second, may I have all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. So tonight, there's no ordinances for second reading. However, we do have an ordinance to introduce. Mr. Cantor, before we continue to the introduction of ordinance 2023, can you explain the purpose of this ordinance and the reasons why you suggested that the council consider this ordinance?
Sure, Mayor. So by way of background, on June 8th, we had ordinance 1520-23 up for introduction, and that was to introduce a redevelopment plan for the property located at Northfield Avenue and Livingston Avenue. And that ordinance required a referral to the planning board. On that very same night, we had resolution 23-160 on, which was a referral to the planning board. The ordinance passed 3 yeses, 1 no, 1 voted present. The resolution failed with 2 votes yes and 3 votes no. So there was no referral to the planning board. At that time, I gave the opinion that the ordinance was not introduced properly, that it was incomplete and had no force of law and effect, given that a redevelopment plan would require not only an introduction, but a referral to the planning board and also a hearing date set. Since that time, we've heard from council. There's been a threat of litigation to the township, so I'm not going to go as far as I can to explain it. Essentially, they're arguing that by introducing the ordinance, it's ministerial to have the ordinance referred to the planning board. And they cite to a case in which an ordinance was introduced and there was no referring resolution. And that court found that the referring resolution is not required. However, as I instructed this board, many municipalities do have the referring resolution. There is no case law in point to suggest when the ordinance is introduced and the referring resolution is denied, what happens. I think that their position is incorrect because we have a vote of this council denying the referral to the planning board, which would not allow us to vote on it. But I'm suggesting in order to avoid litigation, we have every right to repeal any action taken. And that comes under NJSA 40:48-2, which allows any governing body to repeal any action it has previously taken. What makes this a little bit more interesting is what the law says. If you were to pass an ordinance, it must be repealed by ordinance. If you were to pass a resolution or adopt a resolution, it must be repealed by resolution. Here we have an introduction of an ordinance, which typically could be voted down on second reading and adoption. But since we're not getting to the point of second reading and adoption, I'm taking the position that we should pass an ordinance and unintroduce it. I think it's cleaner, safer. A resolution may be all that's required. So a vote tonight is introducing an ordinance which repeals the introduction of ordinance 15-2023 to the extent that that ordinance remains introduced. Again, it was my opinion that introduction was incomplete and has no force and law in effect. But what this does, I think, is take any challenge out to the fact that that ordinance could be referred to the planning board. Is there any questions from any council members? Mayor?
I don't. Does any other council members have any questions? No? Okay. Thank you, Jared.
So an affirmative vote, you're confirming the unintroduction of that ordinance to the extent that it's still introduced.
Thank you. May I have Madam Clerk, can you please read ordinance number 20-2023 by title?
Ordinance 20-2023, repealing the introduction of ordinance 15-2023.
Move it up first reading.
Second.
Okay. So is there any discussion? Madam Clerk, can you please proceed with the roll call?
Councilmember Meinhardt?
Yes.
Councilmember Klein is absent. Councilmember Begoli?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Anthony?
Yes.
Mayor Vieira?
Yes.
And Mayor, the date for the hearing on this will be July 24th, 2023.
Great, thank you very much. Thank you. So at this point, we're at the consent agenda. So all matters listed with an asterisk are considered to be routine and non-controversial by the council and will be approved by one motion. There will be no separate discussions of these items unless a member of the governing body so requests, in which case the item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda as part of general orders. Madam Clerk, could you please, for the public information, resolution number 23-180 has been pulled off of tonight's agenda. So, Madam Clerk, can you please read all the resolutions on the consent agenda by title and resolution number?
Resolution 23-176, releasing developers agreement for 75-89 Northfield Road. Resolution 23-177, authorizing award of contract to M2 Associates, Inc. Resolution 23-178, authorizing vehicle sale of surplus. Resolution 23-179, authorizing a 6-month extension of existing contract with Beacon Planning and Consulting Services, LLC. Resolution 23-181, establishing technical review fees for subdivision and site plan applicants.
Do any members of the council wish to have any of these items removed from the consent agenda for separate discussion and voting? So then may I have a motion to approve the resolutions on the consent agenda?
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? I'm sorry, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilmember Meinhardt?
Yes.
Councilmember Klein is absent. Councilmember Begoli?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Anthony?
Yes.
Mayor Vieira?
Yes. Thank you very much. At this time, we're on the public portion on any subject. So may I have a motion to open the public portion on any subject?
Motion to open the public portion
May I
on
have a
any
second?
subject.
All in favor? Opposed? Okay, so the meeting is now opened on any subject with a 3-minute time limit. If you come up to the microphone, please give us your name and address for the record.
I spoke at the earlier meeting.
Thank you. Name and address.
1201 Point Gate Drive, Livingston, 07039.
Thank you.
I spoke earlier, and I will continue to speak about the introduction of marijuana in this beautiful community. I think it should be reconsidered, and I think it should be rejected. I'd like to add 2 points beyond what I said earlier. One is the health issue. 4 days ago in the Wall Street Journal, there was a major article about cannabis. And the largest survey made was done in Denmark concerning 6 million people who had been on cannabis the last 15 years, roughly. And the results of the survey were that this drug creates clinical depression, bipolar disorder, and other similar mental health issues. It is not a benign drug, and even if it's not sold here, if we enable people to receive this and sell it elsewhere, we're still contributing to terrible mental health issues. The next area has to do with religion. And I know we have various religious groups, ethnic groups here on the council. Well, I consulted my religious group, and I read the work done by Rabbi Moshe Feinstein, the greatest decisor of these tricky issues in the 20th century. And in 1986, Rabbi Feinstein ruled on marijuana in writing. And he said, it's absolutely verboten. You may not grow it, cultivate it, sell it, or even use it. And he said, first of all, it creates psychological dependence. It can lead to a lack of concentration. And he said, we're a holy people. And by taking this drug, we are diminishing our own holiness. And now I've been talking about the head to you. I'd like to talk about the heart, not the head. Earlier, we had Angela up there, and she was in the other room. I'm worried about Angela. I'm not worried about us. I'm old. Many of you are older. But Angela is 10 years old. This is a clean town, and I don't want it to become a dirty town. I don't care about West Orange, Parsippany, South Orange, and how many feet they have a buffer zone from a school. I don't care about that. We're a clean town, and it's remain a clean town. And in summary, all of you are parents and or grandparents. And one day, your children will speak to you and say to you to your face, are you responsible for bringing this marijuana into this town? And you will be embarrassed to talk to your own children and grandchildren. Thank you. Oh, one more point, please.
Thank you. The time is up.
Just one.
Time is up, sorry.
Okay.
Thank you.
For the opportunity to
Thank you very much. Hello, Justin.
Hi, Mr. Mayor. Justin Alpert, 56 Amherst Place. Cannabis is a God-given plant. Take a look at Genesis 1:11-12. People use it for spiritual purposes. It's not a matter of giving access. Access is already here. People have had access all along. We voted in this town 2/3, same proportion as the rest of the state, to welcome as the cannabis users are now a constitutionally protected class here in New Jersey. If we're going to move forward with safe and legal access, welcome a conversation about smarter approaches to cannabis policy. Thank you on that matter. 2, any update on the hole on Amherst Place where a house used to be?
Barry, we talked about this.
I did speak to the construction official and code enforcement. They went over there. He reviewed it. There was a much worse example on a different street, but basically that's a depression. They had filled in the hole where the basement was, and there's a permit for a new house coming.
Okay. Still seems to be an attractive nuisance, so throwing that out there. 2, any update on what it would take to wire the other room so we can have the conference meetings broadcast to the broader community?
No update yet, Justin.
Okay, thank you. 3, I noticed that an urgent care center is going in next to the Goddard School. When we authorized that the development of that little teeny plot of land prior to COVID, we were talking about a store coming in or something. The urgent care undermines the values. When we all moved into the community, we all had local medical practices that we went to, that we brought our kids to. And on the July 4th committee, we noted that the large medical provider in this town was sold to a Chicago private equity firm, I believe. And with medicine in a healthy community, you really want to track the cash flows. And I'm not sure that an urgent care center replaces the kind of small private medical practices that we really cherish. This is a national problem, and there's an opportunity for leadership, for Livingston to take a leadership role in accounting for the kind of medical care that we actually value in a healthy, growing community. And it's worth taking a look at really accounting for our cash flows and our insurance cash flows with respect to healthcare in this community. It's something we ought to look at this year and next year. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Justin. Is there anybody else in the audience who would like to make comment? Hi, Bernie.
Bernard Searle, 14 Washington Court. I was wondering, probably not at this meeting, but probably at the next meeting, if we could have a graphic presentation of what has been built in Livingston and what has been approved in Livingston when it comes to the Affordable Fair Share Housing Act that has been in place, I guess, since the 1970s. Am I correct? Yes, I am correct.
Yeah, but I think it's every 10 years there's a
No,
new
no,
round.
but we've had this, we've been having discussion since the 1970s, 80s, 90s. It keeps on going on
Every 10
and on
years.
and on. But most folks don't realize where in the town things currently are operational, what has been approved and will be built, and what we're up against going forward. Then there was a little bit of comment about schools and the town. The two are intertwined, just like this. But the town actually is the only body that has the potential for a new school site. The town is the only one. The Board of Ed does not have a vacant piece of property. As you're well aware, been in town for a long time. I was going to say I'm old, but there are people that are older. And a number of years ago, there was a discussion, and I'll try to be brief, about two existing sites that the town had for potential schools. And there was a discussion whether the Board of Ed felt that they would ever need those sites. Well, obviously, they were wrong then. They were wrong 10 years after that, and they continue to be wrong because, as you're well aware, there's a lot of regular construction of houses that are being knocked down and being replaced by larger houses, which has probably more of an impact. Ed is 100% correct, more of an impact than some of these other developments. And so I have brought up casually that one of those sites, in my personal and professional opinion, would be the most fabulous site for a school. And I think if the two bodies work together, it can become a reality. Nothing is impossible in Livingston. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor,
Thank
can I
you.
respond for a couple minutes?
Sure.
Oh, did you?
Oh.
Bernie, before, so just a couple things.
Your mic is not on.
Oh, sorry, now it's on. No, you can't respond, but just I want to make a couple of comments. For those, you made a comment about a list for people to see where things have been zoned. This board, this committee, we've sat here now for the last 3 years, whether it be here or on Zoom. If people don't know at this point, and it's been covered by our local West Essex Tribune extensively, so we're happy to do it again. But the people really should know if they don't care up until this point, because all that's public information. There's nothing that hasn't been done here that is not public information what has been passed. That's number one. Number two is you should know that there's also been a committee that has been, Councilman Begoli and myself have sat with the Board of Education now for the last, 3-4 months on a month-to-month basis. We've included the town manager and we've included the superintendent of schools. They have a complete list of everything that has been approved so far, when projection dates to be shovels in the ground, and what apartments, the breakdowns of 1, 2, and 3 bedrooms of all that. So we've cooperated and we've worked very well with the Board of Education over the last year and a half to get to have all that information in their hands.
Am I able to?
Yeah, I am
No,
going
I'm not
to.
going to debate. I just want to.
No, it's not a
provide some
debate, but since Councilman, you're going to answer Councilman Meinhardt, I'll give you 1 minute.
Right. Unfortunately, we experienced something called COVID. And while some people maybe were not interested and maybe some people didn't come across it, I was perplexed that I didn't know till I actually went through some of the records that some stuff was on Zoom, yes. But Zoom was a very bad thing. It's not really the same thing as a meeting like this. And I was very surprised of the number of units that had been approved during a summer, not just on Zoom, but Zoom during a summer. So it's not that I'm saying that the information is not available. It wasn't as readily available as when you have a meeting like this and you have presentations like this. And there's a big difference. Zoom is not the same.
Thank you, Bernie.
Thank you.
Okay, is there anybody else from the public that wishes to speak? Name and address for the record.
Nafiger Daleem, Bloomfield, New Jersey. Good evening, everyone. My name is Nafiger Daleem, and I'm here today to speak on behalf of the many citizens in this state who are concerned about the future of cannabis retail. Although not a resident of Livingston, I was born, raised, educated, and worked in New Jersey my entire life. As a first-generation Bengali American citizen, I understand the value of hard work and perseverance. My parents immigrated here to provide for a better life for our family, and I am proud to say that I have been able to achieve success through their sacrifice and my own hard work. I graduated from Hackensack High School and Fairleigh Dickinson University and have worked tirelessly in a variety of customer service fields, including as an IT professional. Today, I stand before you to discuss a new venture, one that I'm eager to pursue, McKenna Crops, our cannabis retail dispensary. This is a venture that is personal to me as a member of the New Jersey community that was negatively affected by the prohibition of cannabis. I want to provide a safe and legal way for members of our community to access this product and help break the stigma of what adult cannabis use looks like. As a minority-owned micro-business, I'm concerned that the Township of Livingston may not have plans to prioritize conditional cannabis license holders who fit into these categories. I'm here to ask you to consider the importance of diversity and inclusivity in this industry and to make sure that those who have been historically marginalized are given an opportunity to succeed in this growing market. When considering your application fee structure or the prioritization of license awardees, I would hope it would reflect the commitment to supporting underprivileged communities. I'm looking forward to continuing to pursue municipal approval and to create a business that is both responsible and ethical, compliant, and sustainable. I believe that a cannabis retail dispensary can be a positive addition to our community, and I look forward to working with you to ensure that this is a success. Thank you for your time.
All right, thank you very much.
As the single minority person on this council, I'm just going to say that we have been, and the single minority council that said that she would vote for cannabis retail if it was ever presented. I just have to say something on behalf of what you said about diversity and inclusivity. I don't think our decision is based on diversity and inclusivity. It's based on what's in the good of the town. And to say that this council is not considering that, we are considering all areas on the table for us, whether it's minority groups or anyone else that wants to come before and open a retail business in our town. Everyone is welcomed. Now, whether retail will be heard, we do have a committee looking into it and will report back to us. But as far as minority being a concern, I believe that the board has always, we are a diverse council who honors minority groups and diverse groups, and we have done it time and time again. So I thank you for your time.
I didn't want to make any accusations. I'm just historically, from the work that we've done in the past few years trying to make this happen, seeing how towns react.
I just want to make sure that our town is highlighted for what we do every single day to honor every single member of this community openly.
Of course. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there any other public comments? Your name and address for the record.
Okay. My name is Ron Akbar. I reside at 18 Brentwood Drive. And Brentwood, yeah. I'm around the corner from Collins School. And the reason for my being here today is the town tree in front of my property. Okay, the tree over the years has, the roots have gotten big, plus the tree is diseased on the inside. If you want, I have a picture of it. It was washed away because of the heavy rain. And I did some research on it, and it goes on to, the article goes on to talk about it's diseased on the inside because I have a lot of carpenter ants that go up and down the tree into a hole on the, can I?
Yeah, please, because I'm going to end up giving it to, Barry, can you take this from him? Because we'll move it right to Barry, because we'll... And with the carpenter ants, there's probably no inside to that tree at all. It's probably all eaten up.
Right, it's dangerous, and again, I'm around the corner from College School.
Yeah.
Everybody parks on our street.
Yep. So Barry, can you ask DPW to get, so what's the address again?
18 Brentwood Drive.
Okay, so tomorrow we will send a Department of Public Works,
Now, just for the record,
person over.
I've been in touch with them numerous times. And these... Yeah, I've been in touch with them numerous times, and I've been in touch with Chris Southworth. He's the superintendent. He's a little standoffish and somewhat of a wise guy.
Okay.
Okay, which I don't appreciate.
We will take care of, we'll have DPW go out, and we'll definitely have that taken care of. Correct, Barry?
Yeah, so that's my concern, you know. And, I mean, I've sent emails, and because it's tearing up my property in the front, I spent $8,000 doing my driveway and the walk. Now the limbs are, well, the roots are,
Yeah,
I mean,
coming
that's
up.
a secondary issue. But
Yeah.
again, the main issue is the disease in the inside of the
And
tree.
I'll take a ride over there. It's 18
Brentwood.
Brentwood.
Yeah, right down the block from
Oh, I know that.
Collins School.
You know what it is? That's a type of tree that the roots actually come up. That whole Brentwood area is
Right.
I've been over there a lot. I know that one time Public Works actually cut the roots just so they can put new sidewalks in. Those roots actually come right off the sidewalks.
You know, I've seen Public Works do that.
Yeah.
And when I asked them about that, they denied
But
it.
you have a different problem. You have the carpenter ants eating the inside of the tree.
Well, yeah, but it's tearing up the sidewalk.
Gotcha.
And since we're on the subject of trees, if you go down Falcon Road, the trees have overgrown this year because of all the rain, and it looks like a tunnel. The trees are touching each other. That's dangerous. They need to be trimmed.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So is there any other comments from the public? No, Bernie, sorry. Any other comments? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, have you received any comments from your office?
No, Mayor, I haven't. Thank you.
Okay. So there are no other comments. May I have a motion to close? Second. All in favor? Opposed? Okay. So now we're on to reports of committee and official professionals. Barry, you have anything to report?
No, Mayor, I think we've touched on most of the issues, and I've made notes of a number of issues to look into.
Thank you very much. Deputy Township Manager Russ Jones, you have anything? Assistant Township Manager Adam Lerner, you have anything?
Yeah, this morning, the Livingston Police Department took our Livingston youth down to the Palisades Interstate Parkway Police Station as part of our Junior Police Academy outreach program. Officers from that department treated the participants to an educational ride on a police patrol boat that was assigned to the Hudson River. Our community police officers, Joy Clappel, Ralph Colesbuzz, led the trip with the assistance of Sergeant Wyatt, Officer Danielson, and Officer Bellucci. Just want to take a second to thank, it's such a wonderful program that we do with the Livingston Police Department and our kids in the Livingston community. And then also a special thanks for the Palisades Interstate Parkway Police Station for taking the time to take the kids out on the boat. To see them all, the faces of all the kids walking off the boat was great. And so want a special shout out to our Livingston Police Department, but really great program, and we're just lucky to have it for our children in Livingston.
I think this has been a couple years that they've had this Junior Police Academy. It's really wonderful. We have a great police department, honestly. Thanks, Adam. Township Clerk Carolyn Mazuka, do you have anything?
Nothing from me, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Our CFO, Ann Cucci, anything?
Nothing that exciting. In finance, just the audit has started, and hopefully we'll be done it shortly.
Great, thank you. Jared Cantor, our town attorney, anything?
No, Mayor, thank you.
Great, thank you very much. Council comments, Councilmember Ed Meinhardt, anything?
Two things. First of all, I'm sure everybody else will, but since I'm first, I get to say thank you first to all the July 4th committee members, the DPW, the fire, the police, everybody in this town who was involved with a wonderful July 4th celebration day. It was probably the best one I've seen in a long, long time. Town was out, everything, the weather held up for the most part, but it was a great event, so I just wanted to thank everybody. Second of all, a really nice thing I'd like to announce is that in the New Jersey state budget that just passed a week ago Friday, Ron, you ready for this? There was $1.5 million for Livingston to turf Oakner Fields. So, thank you. So that there'll be a lot more coming out on that, but I just want to let you know we were very, very happy that the whole council worked hard for that. Appreciate everyone's support and help in getting it over the line, and thank Governor Cody's office especially for helping us with that. So there'll be plenty more to talk about in the future, but it's a real big game changer for the town of Livingston as well.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Rosie Begoli.
I just want to congratulate Judith Friedman one more time. I want to thank her for her time and her service and her dedication in the League of Women Voters, not just helping everyone register, but helping women especially, and having a voice for us and standing up for us, as you always have for all the years that you have served, along with Robin, and welcome Amy to the League of Women Voters. I want to thank the Pull Committee for, again, their hard work in their presentation tonight, and the July 4th Committee for an outstanding 4th of July. I'm sorry, due to health reasons, I was not able to see the fireworks, I think, for the very first time since I've been a Livingston resident. But I thank the committee. I heard they were wonderful. My children were there, and they reported. So thank you very much to all of you for all your hard work.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Deputy Mayor.
You're going to hear it again. The 4th of July committee was phenomenal. Even a little rain in the middle of the day. I mean, that day is now packed from 9, 10 o'clock till the last firework with the auto show and the garden, the beer garden, wine garden, the bands, all the fun there. And it just keeps getting better and better. So that committee really is, we just stay out of their way. They just are tremendous. That's them, and police and DPW and all that. So they do a great job. I do want to thank Senator Cody and our Assemblyman McKeon and JC. They are our representatives for the budget for this district, the 27th district, and they always do a great job, including this on the Oakner complex, Tevlin Field over there. Getting some money back to their district. Great job by them. And as well, yes, Judith Friedman, you're great. I was the most exciting debate was when Chuck Granata and I were going at each other many years ago. I think we almost had to get some help that night with security. Do you remember that? But those are spirited debates. That's our great country, that we have freedom of speech, and we do put our best foot forward to get elected and represent our town. And you ran those debate nights, and you got to hear why you should vote for people, why maybe you shouldn't. But everything you do and everything the League of Women Voters have done forever is tremendous, and that's what America, that's what Livingston's all about. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. And to make sure that we go 5 for 5, Councilman Klein actually wants to also thank the July 4th committee. So he's not here tonight, but I'm sure he would have. It was a fantastic event, and I'm going to be the 5th person to say it. I want to sincerely thank the volunteer 4th of July committee and all who volunteered throughout the day and night to make, we had thousands and thousands of residents plus visitors to our town for the fireworks and for the entire day. I also want to thank the Senior Youth and Leisure Services Department, Jam Fan Productions, as well as our dedicated Department of Public Works, our police department, our auxiliary police, our fire and volunteer fire department, as well as our first aid. Everyone comes together on the 4th of July to make it such a success. And I see Ron and Justin shaking their heads because it was a great day that day. And thank you. And I know we have a kind of a wrap-up committee meeting. I think it's tomorrow. So that'll be great to wrap up that. I too want to thank Governor Senator Cody when Ed and I were. Ed, we also have to thank Max Bloom, his chief of staff. Max was always in contact with us. He was great, talking to us about what was going on. So I have to throw a shout out to Max for that. Governor Cody's office was great. Livingston Summer Concerts started this Sunday. It was moved inside, unfortunately, because of the rain. But I want to remind our community that for the next 5 Sundays, starting at 7 p.m. at the Beck Gazebo inside the Oval, will be the concerts for the next 5 weeks. I mentioned this a couple weeks ago. I need everybody to be aware of this and keep their eyes open. There has been some coyote sightings in Livingston. There's been a couple sightings. So just if you're walking with your children, if you're walking just with yourself, if you're walking with your pets, just be just what your surroundings is. Just look out and just be very careful out there. And the last thing is I want to mention is I've gotten so many compliments regarding the quality of our recording of these meetings lately. And I want to thank our Assistant Town Manager, Adam Lerner, and our audiovisual technical coordinator, Andy Munns, for putting this whole system together. So thank you very much. I'm getting a lot of compliments. I think we're all getting compliments. So, but thank you very much. So. With that, we are not going into executive session, so we are not going back into conference, so we are adjourning. So may I have a motion? The next meeting is scheduled, is it July 24th? July 24th. So may I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
May I have a second? All in favor? Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Good night.